Just like watching pros play. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. We're live right now. We should be live. Oh, my daughter and son are again. Hey, I'm gonna come in there now. Keep waking up, staying up late. Hey, we should be streaming though.
All right.
Yeah, maybe,
There it is. Yeah.
possibly.
We're live.
Yeah, I'm charging my phone. Hey guys, just gonna do a late night sculpt and stuff. I was watching. I was just telling Mike I was watching some League of Legends because there's Worlds right now. So I'm probably not gonna stream for too long. So I want to watch the rest of it. It's pretty intense, pretty interesting. But for those of you who are in here, that means you guys don't care at all about that stuff. Which is,
Because you're not watching it.
yeah, you're probably working or doing something valuable with your time, or not. Who am I to judge? But yeah, I think I could just start off with just doing Q&A and stuff. Like if you guys want to ask questions or hang out.
Yeah, buddy.
One thing that we want to talk about is that we're trying to do a little bit more longer streams where I'm just working or painting or whatever for a little bit longer periods of times. And yeah, Mike's going to be hosting it on his channels. So that way he's going to be managing.
Yeah.
Because he's planning on doing a lot of studying and stuff like that. So it's kind of helping him out as well. And so yeah, I mean, for me, it's an opportunity for everyone to kind of get better. Because I want to have more time where I'm just working on things that I'm not very good at. But at the same time, you know, I want to help out the little guys. What the heck?
I'm trying to type quiet, but it's hard.
Just go type. Defeats the purpose.
Sorry.
You can still hear it.
Just takes longer. Okay. I wanted to tell the chat that they can ask questions.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I'm gonna be doing some ZBrushing. It's time. I got an opportunity where I'm gonna be doing more and more art directing, and I want to be better at a lot of different tools again. And it requires me to get back into 3D. And plus, I've just been itching to get back into it. I'm a big fan of 3D, but I don't use it too often. I've been painting a lot, but there's now an opportunity to do it. So I'm all right, cool. And you know, obviously, I'm a 3D character guy. I'm like character guy through and through. But anywho, yeah, Worlds. Anyone watching it? Anyone excited about League of Legends in that capacity? I know it's gonna take a while.
Gotta wait, yeah. Delay. Got about 90 people watching.
I heard Microsoft is doing something where they're gonna make like a stream on their devices, and there's like
Really?
no delay, like for their gaming.
No way.
Yeah, there's like no.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I did see that in the press conference, but I didn't hear no delay. I heard they were going to build in streaming features to the next update of Windows 10.
Yeah, no delay. That's what they're promising. It's kind of crazy.
That might help. Wow.
Like, how come?
At that point, it's like a really large video chat, right?
Yeah, dude. How come Microsoft is killing it? Didn't Apple have the same conference? I feel like Apple didn't have anything.
Apple hasn't innovated in the past like 2 or 3 years. Like
ever
I've
since
seen
they've
reports about that,
passed.
how Microsoft is the new like Apple. You know,
That's a weird thing.
I think Apple is just like nervous or afraid, and Microsoft feels like they have so many different avenues for their company that maybe they can take more risks. And with the what was that? What was that thing called? The Studio, Microsoft Studio, the like Cintiq thing where you can draw on the
the
screen.
Surface Studio.
Yeah, that's it. So my thought after seeing that, because I was thinking for a bit, is Microsoft is heavily invested in gaming, and they also are heavily invested in the side of making games, so dealing with artists. So they probably were like, what would they want? And they kind of fulfilled that. I mean, besides the price, but
No, the Cintiq.
that's what I would.
Cintiq costs that much.
No, I know that. Like Cintiqs are. Well, that's the other thing though. Isn't a Cintiq like just a screen? You also need a computer.
Yeah, so that means
So it's
you're gonna
still
have to.
more expensive.
Yeah, you're gonna spend $3,000 just for a screen, and then you still have to spend $3,000 to get a PC. So it's
Right.
like, or you can just
So
spend three
yes,
grand
technically it's better.
just to get a PC and the touchscreen, and it's like it's an interesting touchscreen because it has like 10 multi-touch. It comes with its own pen, and also like it has uh, it has like its own proprietary like color wheel thingy.
Yeah, that thing
Looks
was
pretty
pretty
cool.
pretty
Yeah.
neat.
Again, I'm not sure the value of it, but it's just like whatever. I don't like
Keep
so when
making cool stuff.
yeah. So when I saw the server stuff, I was like, okay. And I knew that the what you call it was going to make Apple was going to make an announcement, and so I was thinking, okay, well at least they're going to announce something pretty cool, right? Nothing, and I was hoping for at least just like an upgrade to the iPad Pro because I'm thinking about getting like an iPad Pro because it's really cool, and I've seen people use it, like my friends, and I've used it, and I'm like, oh my god, this is pretty cool. I was like, no, not even that. It's like, oh, where like Microsoft is like, the whole Surface, even the Surface, original Surface, is being better, longer battery life on certain tools and stuff like that.
And that uses like desktop applications.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. I don't know what to say, but it's good. Competition. It's good.
yeah, yeah. I think the most interesting thing from that conference was the VR. The fact
Yeah.
that they were partnering to start shipping laptops, I think it was, with these like $300 headsets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm eating gobstoppers. The kids went Halloween or trick or treating.
Yeah, can you explain that? How that how does that work if it's not Halloween yet? Are you like in one of those neighborhoods?
Yeah, people just do things way before. You know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
whatever.
cool.
Hey, who cares?
I'm not judging, damn. Not
Yeah,
at all. Like,
yeah, you care. You're judging. Yeah,
okay, I wanted candy and I feel left out.
you can just go to the store and just buy
I
some.
know I'm gonna go buy a bag.
Yeah, these kids have
I was
no
talking with
access
some of
to
the
this.
students about that. Yeah. They're
It's
like,
really for
that's
kids.
it's a lot of effort to
Yeah,
like walk door to door.
as an adult, it's like you just do Halloween to just party with people.
Yeah. Some of my high school friends are throwing a party right now.
Yeah.
But I was like, I gotta get stuff done.
Then as like there's stages, right? And then as you get older, you're just kind of like, I don't really care for partying.
Well, I've had many times where I forget it's a holiday. Like Thanksgiving. I remember last time I was like, people were like, I only found out through Facebook, because I was just so into it.
Oh, my wife's calling me. I was trying to get a hold of her earlier.
Oh,
I was worried about her.
all good.
Let me just
I'm gonna read the chat, see if there's
oh,
anything I
I'm
can
gonna
respond to.
mute. Hey, sweetheart.
Honey?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Jessica just related the message to call you. My phone was in my little purse, and I'm like, we're gossiping away here.
Okay. Just making sure you're okay, baby. I love you.
What happened?
Nothing. I was just
No,
making
I'm
sure.
okay. I'm okay, sweetheart. I'm fine. I'm sorry. I was supposed to tell you that I got here okay, but I did call you, but you didn't answer.
Yeah, I know. All right, baby. That's it. Love you. Have
Okay.
fun.
I love you too, sweetheart. Bye, honey.
All right, I'm back.
All right, we got 3 questions already.
Sorry about that. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, I was just worried about my wife. She went out for dinner, and I called her a bunch of times.
Don't worry. It's fine.
I was freaking out a bit. I was like, what the? Because she usually gets back to me like right away.
All right, ready to take some questions?
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. I think the first one is from Nick.
Wrong. Nick, you're wrong.
Oh God. He said, "Sup guys? Hope you're feeling better, AJ. Question:
Drugs, dude.
how do you export files to 3D coat for painting? I have some sculpts I want to paint, but don't know the full process. Wouldn't that just be
It's
like a screenshot?
like what elaborate? You mean like he wants to paint over
He's
them?
Yeah, it looks like he said how do you export files from 3D export files to 3D coat for painting? Oh, I see. I think maybe he means wait, from where are you exporting it from, Nick?
Yeah, elaborate. Because
ZBrush? Okay. We'll come back to you. Nick, clarify.
yeah.
Um Gilbert asked, "What up, Anthony?" He
What's
said,
up, dude?
"When are you going to do some Photoshop demos?"
What?
Do them all the time.
That's like pretty much
It's like the one time.
90%. Yeah. Yeah, take it easy, dude. All right, I guess nobody likes the ZBrush stuff.
That's so funny,
Just
dude.
do it once and they're already like friggin', hey, when are you gonna do demos for Photoshop? Oh, get out of this
Yeah,
ZBrush noise.
that's so funny.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he said from ZBrush. That's what Nick said.
It's not simple. I can't explain it just like right away. Just be like, oh, yeah, just do this. It's 3D, man. 3D is... You gotta unwrap it. You gotta do all the stuff. You gotta learn 3D stuff. You can't just throw it in there and just start painting. It's not that simple yet.
I might be able to talk with you about it, Nick, later on the Discord.
There it is.
I have a theory that could help you.
Theory.
All right, theory. Well, I mean, I can't just as much as you can't. I can sit down and try to help figure it out with him. You know.
Oh no, there's a way. It's not a theory. It's just technical. It's just
No, I
like
think I know,
really.
but I'm not gonna say I know if I haven't,
I see.
if I'm not sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
Disclaimer.
yeah, it's just you gotta retopo and do all the noise. You can do it all
Yeah.
in 3D Coat. It's like all technical. It's not something I can be like, oh yeah, just open this and press that, and then you're good. All right, sorry.
All right. Mikey asked, "How do you come up with concepts for creatures, aliens? Do you just start building up random shapes, silhouettes as your primary shapes, and then begin detailing with secondary and tertiary shapes?"
Yep. I always like to start primary to secondary to tertiary. That's the best way to go about anything, really. Whenever people start, they want to make everything like epic right away. And that's like half the problem, too, why a lot of people struggle. They want to go right into detail. But to really finish a design or a painting or whatever the heck you're working on, even like sculpting, it's like best to start with primary. Because even this, like I lowered the resolution so I wouldn't focus on detail. So I can just get more of the primary / secondary. It's a little bit of secondary going on here too. But just focusing mostly on the primary.
All right, tight. Toby T said, "I just applied for a studio. How long should I wait before I move on?"
Um, what does moving on mean? If moving on
I
means
would,
just like not holding your breath for it, I would say just do that now. Don't like. I'm not saying like leave and just like don't respond to them ever again kind of thing. I mean, like, just assume the worst, which is you didn't get the job, and then just start working on your portfolio or looking at other avenues. Without being invasively rude. Like, don't start applying to 100 different studios. But I would say if you don't hear from them for like a few weeks, then they're not interested. And I say probably because some studios just are bad about getting back to people. Like, they may totally be interested, but they're just really bad about getting back to you. I've seen it happen on it internally, like where we would, hey, like, hire our friend,
huh?
and they're just, oh yeah, we would love to get him in there. And all right, great. And then like a week later, my friend's like, hey, I haven't heard, like, what's going on. And I was like, dude, like, they totally said they want to get in. And then we go to them and like, hey, like, are you gonna get my friend? He's like, oh yeah, we forgot all about that. Yeah, we'll get to him right away. And then, like, again, it just like doesn't happen. I'm like, all right.
That's just another case of people are people, right?
Yeah.
Like the people are forgetful.
There's a case
Well, I
of
know hard
Blizzard.
feelings.
Yeah, there's a case in Blizzard where this guy he got hired, but he didn't even know he got hired. Yeah,
That
because
sounds hilarious.
yeah, they were like so bad at it. Um,
Wow.
yeah, what happened was he went in for an interview and he did great. They like really loved him. They're like, yeah, absolutely. Like, we'll get in touch quick. You know, he went through all the process and he was like, oh, this is gonna be great. Like, I'm gonna work here. It's gonna be fantastic. And he just doesn't hear from them, right? So he's just like, okay, and then he just keeps trying to reply to them after like a month of not hearing from them, and he's just like, I guess they don't want me. So he moves on, right? He just is like, whatever. That sucks. You know, I thought they really were into me. And then that same week, he gets a call from like the HR person or some sort of producer, and was just like, hey, we just realized that you haven't been showing up for work for the last 2 weeks, and we're just wondering what's going on. And
Oh, wow.
he's like, I didn't know I even had the job. Like, nobody got back to me. And they're like, oh, yeah, that seemed like a problem.
It's like he lost the job before he even got it, or you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
from his
no, he got
perspective,
the
they're like,
job. He in the end he got the job. It's just funny
right,
because
yeah,
they're like, why aren't you showing up to work? And he's like, well, nobody told me when to show up, and they didn't even notice until 2 weeks in. And it might have been like the art director's like, hey, didn't we like hire a guy? Like, where is he? And they're just like, yeah, we did hire him. And it's like, okay, let me reach out to him.
that's pretty funny, man. But yeah, to me that just tells me people are people. You know,
Hmm.
that's just the simple
Yeah, because
truth
my
of it.
experience with Blizzard was just really easy. They called me, did a phone interview, then a physical, like in-person interview, and then like all within like a few weeks time. Like first week was just phone interview, second week in-person interview, third week, I got the job. Fourth week, like that's when I was gonna start. Right? It was just in and then like when I was there for the orientation, there was like the person I was with, they're like, oh, it was like 3 months before I could even get in here. And I'm like, huh. So just like it's a combination of whoever's in charge and whoever's like managing you. So that's why I'm saying don't even hold your breath. Like you might be lucky, they might be like super awesome and get back to you like right away, or they might just like lose track because they're just people. It sucks because like you're just sitting around. There's nothing else you're thinking about, and these other people are like worrying about other things. I get it. But it's just bad management.
Yeah, like for you it'd be top priority, and then for them they have like so many other things.
Yeah, that's really
It's
what it
not
is.
that you're not important. It's just that you know they're already working and like have to like hiring you. It wouldn't be their only job.
Hmm.
Yep. All right. Another question asked: how do you decide when to use ZBrush or 3D Coat to sculpt?
I think for me, still 3D coat is like hard surface all the way, and then ZBrush is organic. Uh, but I don't think it's because 3D coat is really bad at that, or ZBrush is really bad. It's just like for me, it makes sense, and for others, it might not. So it's just up to you what you think, right? Like what you think would be good. Um, some people use just one software all the way, and I think that's totally true. Like you could totally do really good organic and hard surface in ZBrush and vice versa. So it's just a matter of how committed are you to 3D and how committed are you going to try to sit down and learn these tools. Because I've been learning ZBrush throughout my whole career, so like completely abandoning it's kind of silly. I'm like really good at it, or not like really good at it, but I'm good at it, you know. And it would be weird to just kind of abandon it over after all that training because it's still not a bad software and it's still standard in industry. Um, but 3D Coat is really good, and so it'd be also silly just to be like, well, I'm a ZBrush fanboy all the time. Say, no, I like ZBrush just as much. Or I like both. Like a good tool is a good tool. So yeah.
All right. No more questions. Just people saying thanks for streaming.
Yeah,
Toby
man.
said thanks for replying about what was Toby's question. I think he was the job guy.
Yeah, of course, man. Are you guys not happy with my zebra sculpting? You guys prefer painting? And that's a fair argument, to be honest. I know most of you guys are probably, oh no, this is fine. But like, I had a conversation about this with
Oh yeah.
one of my friends. One of my friends was like, hey, can you share my my crowdfunding thing? It's about like this book that I'm working on and all this stuff, right? Sorry for that. And I was like, yeah, I could absolutely share it, but let me warn you, nothing's gonna happen. And he's like, what? What do you mean? I was like, because my fans aren't writing enthusiasts. And I don't mean that they don't like to read or anything. I don't know every single fan, right? It's just that they follow me because I paint, not because I write. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
So like I'll share it, but like no one will care. And why would they? Right? And he was just like, it's still just any kind of exposure is good. And I was like, all right, yeah. And I did, and he didn't. Nothing happened. Like literally
Called
nothing
it.
happened. Yeah.
Called it.
And it's the same thing that I was talking to my my best friend Cam, the one that's writing all these stories and stuff for these paintings. I was like, the reason why this is working out better is because there's paintings associated with your writing, right? So you're gonna see that conversion with some of my fans naturally. Some of them have already happened. Like they've started messaging him. Oh man, we're big fans of your writing. And I mean, there it is. That's how it works. Like you earn that fandom. You don't kind of demand it. Like if people generally like the writing, then that's better than to be like, hey, I'm a popular dude like this because because of it's important. It's like no, like I don't want anybody to do anything they don't want to. But ZBrush is not too far of a segue for me. Like it's like it's still kind of art. It's still sort of monstrous. It's still like something that people can be into, right?
Well, I would say so.
Yeah, so it's
I've
not
never
too
sat and
divorced.
thought like I'd rather see you paint, but I know we can't speak for everybody. There are probably people out there that would think that, but I think there's enough people that are like, I don't care what it is you're doing, like you do cool art, and I want to watch it.
Yeah,
And that's all it is.
yeah. But if I was
Like
sitting here,
maybe if you were playing StarCraft or something, they'd be like, I'm not really feeling it.
yeah, that's how I feel whenever I see my friends playing StarCraft. And there's so many people like people I love,
Yeah.
like people I love in my life, and I don't want to watch them play StarCraft because they're not good at it.
Well, that's different.
I want to watch pros right now. Like I wonder. Oh, you know what? I want to check in on that. Anyone watching the Worlds right now? Did Samsung Galaxy win? Because they're coming. They were like the underdog. They like lost like shut down like 2 games in a row. They were looking to lose the 3rd game, but then they came back. Like it was badass. It was like a 60 or it was almost like a 70, 75-minute game. It was intense. And then it like totally came back. It was great. And
I just realized. Can I ask a question about League of Legends?
Yeah, go ahead.
Does it have? I assume the answer is yes, but does it have similar roles that need to be filled, like how Overwatch works? Like there's a good comp of like you need this tank and this person that supports and yada yada.
Yep, that's where Overwatch got a lot of that from.
Because I've never understood that in other games, but in Overwatch it's made sense to me. But I think that might be because the hero pool is so tiny,
Yeah, League of Legends, it makes sense. It's just it's not beginner friendly. Like if you just start playing, it's not. You're gonna have to play it to really appreciate it. They've done better about that recently, but in the beginning it was like you really got to be part of the club. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I hated playing that game until I started understanding it. I remember like my friends was like, "Oh, let's play." I was like, "Oh, this is some stupid game." And after I started understanding more and more of it, I was like, "Oh man, this is actually really good. This is a really cool game." And but in the beginning it was really rough. But the developers know that. Like they know that it's like hard. Like it's a hard win for new users. But like I said, they have the the time and money now to kind of really fix those types of problems, and they have been. But in the beginning, it was like, yeah, you either knew or you didn't. There's games that are in the same genre, like Dota and Heroes of New Earth, that are just like despicable to their user base. Like the new users just do not get treated well at all.
That's awful.
Yeah, and it's just because the community. It's not really the developer's fault entirely. It's just like it's so hard to. I played one game. I remember playing one game, and I got in. It was the first game I was going to play. I was like, all right, this is pretty cool. And I'm already kind of experienced in the MOBA genre, so I know what it's about. So all right, let's try this out. And I get in. I die once, right? Because I was like, oh, I overextended. I didn't really know the boundaries. And then everyone's like, oh, God damn it, stupid noob. And then they all left the game. And then the game got shut down.
Wow.
Just because I died. And I was
they
like,
didn't even
what?
give you a chance.
That experience is such a terrible first experience to a game. And so, like a League of Legends, they don't have that. Like if you leave a game, you're punished. But I guess in Heroes of New Earth, you're not. At least like in the beginning, you're not. I guess, and people exploited that. Yep.
Yeah, that's bad. That'd be bad news for the devs too.
Yeah.
Because more than anything, they'd want the game to expand.
Yeah.
And if their community is shutting out new players, then that's like a big red flag.
Yep. Any other questions?
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so
this is
pretty simple question here.
Candy.
Are you using a Cintiq or a tablet?
A tablet.
Tablet.
Okay.
Bam. How long do you think should an artist spend in 3D or sculpting softwares versus actually painting in terms of detail? Any tips on time management?
Yeah, it all depends on. Man, I'm sorry, I'm like eating this candy like crazy. It all depends on. Yeah, it all depends on how much you want to get good at whatever the things you want to get good at. So, for instance, for me, if I were to put a percentage on how much time I put into painting, it'd clearly be like 80%, right? And I think that's safe. And then 20% into other things, like including ZBrush and learning how to program, some like other, just every other thing, miscellaneous, right? And so I feel that's how it should be. Like you should just, think about what you really want to put a lot of time in, and then put most of your time into that. But if you're interested in 3D, especially like sculpting and stuff like that, and you're a character designer, or even that, like 3D just in general is a good tool to learn with as well as to learn, because you can start learning about forms and perspective and design in a three-dimensional level. You also start learning technical stuff, like technical reasons why you should learn the software, like because you start to understand the pipeline a little bit better. You understand why other people need you to do a good job with your concepts so that they can make it. You know what I mean? And so it's like it's a little bit of both. Like you learn a little bit of like everything you need to do from it, but spending all your time into 3D then will obviously make you a 3D artist. So the question, like I said, is how much of that do you want to be, like a 3D artist, right? And if the answer is not that much, then don't put that much time into it, And like I said, for me, it's very, very clear that I'm a 2D artist, and I just learned 3D because it helps me make even better 3D or 2D art. Because I can paint even better once I start getting into understanding my forms and my perspective a bit better.
I also feel like messing around with 3D has helped me figure out 2D a little bit better. It's not like direct, but I think indirectly it makes me think about what I'm painting differently.
Yeah.
So, do it. All right. Dave asked, Anthony, are you a concept artist?
I am.
All right.
I am. I am a concept artist, teacher, friend, father, husband. Sorry.
No reason to be sorry. I'm just tired and not able to give witty comebacks. Um,
I'm tired too, man. I hope I
I
hope
got a couple more questions.
I hope the I hope Samsung won the last match because I can have something to watch.
Are you not going to watch if you find out they lost?
No, because if they lose the worlds. They have to win this next game that I was just watching, and if they lose it,
Oh, and they're the team you're backing. You're like,
I'm just
those
going
might
for the
win.
underdog. Yeah, they were the clear underdog, and now if they win this, it's like it's just cool to see like comebacks like that.
Definitely. All right. Lance asked. Um, oh wait, is this a question? I think it is. Yeah. Is there anything in your line of work, artwork, that you wish you knew earlier? I have a degree in K to 12 art education, but digital and concept work is new to me.
Um, Wait, do I wish something that I wish I knew when I first started? Is that kind of the question?
Yeah, that's like the main question.
Yeah. So for me, it's like a big problem question because I don't think I would want to know because that's the thing. Let me give you an example. So like I have my 19-year-old son, and he is going through that time of his life where he doesn't know what the hell he wants to do with his life. And I'm like trying to tell him like, dude, like do this, pick something, and just focus all your time on that, and you'll become really good at it, and you'll make a living and make a career from it. And you're lucky to have someone like me in your life that will help and support you no matter what it is that you choose. Like don't feel like you have to do a thing because someone else told you that's how you make money. Schools do that. Schools teach people how to become workers, and then even they fail at doing that because not everybody becomes the thing that they go to school for, right? Anyway, so I tell them like this type of stuff, and I'm like, thinking though at the same time, like nobody told me that before, and it's because like I went through that struggle, because I went through all those times and almost lived out of my car at one point, and really saw like some sort of like when I was 23 when I went to art school, and that's when I discovered that I should take things a lot more seriously. As we're right around 23, it's because I lived life a little bit, and that living of life for a little bit was like super powerful. It was a very, 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 very powerful. And getting to kind of the answer to this question, like I don't know if I would have had the same ambition, right? If I would have known what I know now, right? I think it was important for me to kind of have those moments and failures to be able to kind of quantify my my successes and my goals, my ambitions, right? So, would there be anything that I would tell myself? Not really, you know. And seriously, not really. And I've had some pretty tremendous failures too. But I think it's all important. Really do because it's built my character and it's built my wisdom for a lot of things.
Interesting.
Yeah, just
Do you
because,
feel like? Oh, go ahead.
yeah, just because like I can think of like all the things that I know now and the way that I'm explaining them and the way even I teach. Like I had to suffer first to really understand it.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I see it all the time. Like people that have not gone through those, they ask those types of questions, right? And I'm like, I understand why it's hard for you to understand. You know, because you haven't suffered, right? And you're like it's case in point. One of my students, Aaron, he's working. He's really having a good time with his job. He loves it. But he's like asking me like, how do I manage this and this time of work and personal stuff? And I said, didn't I warn you of this? And he's like, yeah, but now I'm in it. So I'm like, really now want to know. And as I told you already, and I've kind of already warned him of this, and he's experiencing it now, right? There's a lot of conversations where I have with other established concept artists, you know, that we understand because we're in the trenches and we see it. And then when these young artists come and ask us very specific questions that are very, very clearly like they don't know yet, right? And so when we warn them, they don't. Oh, cool, and then they still make those mistakes. So yeah, it's just I don't know. I don't think there would be anything.
So what I would ask you is, do you feel, and answer your own way, but do you feel like a sense of uncertainty kind of guided you in your young age?
Yeah, like everyone's uncertain. Like
Yeah,
think
it
about
kind of drove you.
yeah, think about what you were 10 years ago. Did you have imagination of where you're going to be today? No.
Not at all.
Like think about 5 years ago, even. Like I was just talking to students this morning about it, or this yesterday, where I was like, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your dreams. I love that because it's true. Like I'm not a religious person either, but it's just like that. The whole
It's a
idea,
good saying.
yeah, that whole idea makes sense. So it's like, yeah, stop thinking too far ahead. I mean, it's good to have some vision where you want to go, but you can't predict any of that. You really can't. I mean, think about like some of the most lucrative things that happen to people in their lives. If you just look at the history of humans, like the people who make the most change in this world usually have some sort of personal failure. Like think about like the ice bucket challenge, right? The people that started that, it was this guy who had that disease, and then they decided to put together some sort of way to like fundraise him, and he was a fighter. He fought his way to try to. I mean, he still obviously has it, and it's pretty bad, but they were shocked. Like the whole family was shocked of like the lack of awareness, and then they eventually did something. They took something from something, which was the ice bucket challenge, and it blew up, right? But if they didn't experience that trauma in their life, they wouldn't have been able to help so many people.
Yeah, man. Wow.
Like Apple's called Apple because Steve Jobs was a fruitarian, which means he only ate fruit, and apple was his favorite fruit. Lisa was named after his daughter that he never admitted to being his daughter until much later. It was like the first computer. Steve Jobs lost Apple. John Lasseter got fired from Disney because he was into 3D animation way before people knew what it was about. Right?
Yeah.
So like imagine what if they didn't fail, is what I'm saying. What if John Lasseter still worked at Disney and just doing some secondary 3D stuff? It wasn't important to Disney. You know what I mean? No doubt that he would have been probably a good director or something, but maybe he wouldn't have been Pixar's leading man. You know what I mean? Know what I mean?
Yeah. You have to fall.
Yeah. It's
I
just
don't
how
know,
life
I'm not
works.
going to make this about me, but skateboarding, like,
Yeah.
it's just such a great example for this kind of a scenario. You literally cannot learn how to do anything new without falling, like physically falling several times. And even
Yeah,
when you learn
perfect.
the thing, you're at no point in skateboarding do you
You're
get to,
guaranteed
you don't ever get
that
to,
you're not
yeah,
ever
exactly.
gonna fall again. Yeah.
Yeah, even professionals, man. Like, and we know it. So, I don't
So
know.
yeah, I wouldn't tell myself anything. Is what I'm saying. Maybe go to the doctor more. Maybe that would be one thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I think
That's funny.
life-threatening things would be a valuable thing to try to tell yourself and more help yourself before. I'll try to convince myself to be like a vegan, but I doubt that I would have been
Earlier.
able to do that. Yeah, yeah. I'd be like, get out of here. Who gives a fuck about that? I'd be like, oh man, bro, like trust me, man. Nah, shut up.
Oh, and you're like rock and roll.
Korean
We're
barbecue,
eating all
bro.
the steaks.
Yeah, Korean barbecue, bro.
Oh yeah, Korean barbecue. All right, 2 more questions.
All right, I'm gonna take this 2 more and then I'm gonna roll.
All right. How long have you been playing around with Photoshop, and at what point did you consider yourself an expert?
I think that I became an expert probably 2 years, maybe 3 years ago, when I really realized, like, man, I'm pretty good at this damn thing. And that was about 6 or 7 years really devoted to it. You know what I mean? I think after 3 years, I was like, I'm pretty good at it, but I'm still don't know what the hell I'm doing kind of thing, right? And then yeah, like maybe 2 years ago, that's when I was like, yeah, I really know this stuff because it was because when I was doing the Gumroad videos, and I was just like, I
Right.
was realizing that was like endless. I can keep talking about stuff, and I was just making video after video after video. And I was like, yeah, I think I know a lot because that's what an expert is, right? Someone that just really knows a lot about the thing. And I was like, yeah, I know a lot about this. I have expertise in this for sure, right?
Do you feel like there's anything that you would consider yourself an expert in that you cannot do just from having a wealth of knowledge on the subject?
Oh, like, am I expert at anything else?
Well,
That's
like
like not
for
Photoshop.
example, like basketball, like that's not a good example, but let's say that you knew a lot about basketball, the sport, and like
Well,
how to be
then
good at it and all that
you're
stuff, but you
you're
don't play.
yeah, you're an expert of the sport, like like knowing like the sport, like that's like a coach,
Right.
right? But are
So
you
I'm wondering, is
expert
there
at
anything
playing
else?
at it? I guess my answer is just like yeah, you can, but it's an expert in a different field,
No,
right?
I'm not saying can you. I'm asking you specifically. Would you consider anything else that you do or like uh
I think
can you see yourself an expert
I
in
think
anything
like
but Photoshop?
understanding like game design and like
Okay.
the genre of like designers and what that world is like I'm recognizing and more the pattern of what makes great developers
There you
and
go. That's a good answer.
but doesn't mean that I can go and make a video game and it'll be great, right? Like
Exactly.
kind of your
Okay.
point, because I know that it's not easy, but I can start to pinpoint why certain developers might have made a stumble. But even then, I would say like I don't like to say anything like that and then call myself expert even then because I really believe you're an expert if you can also prove it.
Well, duh. I think we can both agree on that.
Yeah, I
Just for
mean,
the sake of an argument.
yeah, I don't really. And with that being said, then I actually would take that back. You know, I really am a big fan of like, can you really prove it? Because otherwise, you're just talking. It's just an opinion. And it could be like because even scientists don't think that way. Like scientists don't just stop with like I think this is what things are, and that's it. No, they do experiments. You know, they prove it with math. You know, and data. And I like to go with that versus anything else. So I think the only thing I'm truly an expert at is like uh, digital painting of characters and monsters and sometimes mechs. Right?
Yeah, hands down. That's easy.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing that I'm expert at. Other things I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, you said it pretty good because that also is like the same thing of making the difference between a coach that has done it and a coach that hasn't.
Hmm.
And maybe both of them can coach a good team, but the one that's done it, you can rely on more.
Yeah, because you can have a good coach, and it doesn't mean that the team's going to win
Yeah,
because you know they can't be like that means that even with a good person that has great insight, that doesn't mean that they can work with whatever. They still need the players, right? And in a lot of cases, the players make the teams. You know, like when Shaq was with the Orlando, I forget the name. Like he was the team, and then when they got what you call it, Penny, then that's when it became like crazy. And then when he got switched over to the Lakers with Kobe, game over, right? Because you have like this
yeah.
18-foot monster, and then this amazing baller, right? It's just like impossible to defeat. Anyway, what was the last question? I'm gonna go after that.
One more popped up if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Two quick ones. All right, I just commented. Ending questions here, guys. Um, so somebody said, "What tips do you have for sculpting forms in Photoshop, like your painting like a sculptor Gumroad video? Do I need to study and paint stuff like muscle tissue and wrinkles, or with wrinkles and pock marks? Why not and whatnot? Can't seems to get it to look quite right."
Um, that might mean that you don't have a really good sense of anatomy. That's probably what it is. Ask yourself a very serious question, like how often do you practice and study anatomical form, and then specifically, um, like the functions and the insertions of muscles to tissue to bone. And then the next question after that would be, how much comparative anatomy do you do, and like the amount of hours you put into it. It's it's a reflection of like how good you're going to be at painting forms and stuff. If you don't, because really what it comes down to is like you don't know what forms you're painting, and if you don't seem to get it, it's because you literally don't. And if you try to guess it, it's just going to take you forever to finally figure it out. But if you go and just like look it up and research it, you'll get better at it much faster.
All right.
Gobstoppers.
What percentage of Photoshop features and tools you find to use yourself on a daily basis, and what you consider a must to master above all?
I think just the interface, just mastering the interface is like a big thing. Because when you master the interface, then it becomes transparent to you. And what I mean by that is like it becomes a point where you don't think about Photoshop when you're painting, just like you don't think about the pencil or the paper when you're drawing on pencil or paper. You know what I mean? And you have to do that, I think. And whatever that may be for you is different for everyone. You got to figure out. For me, it's just like the brush size and increasing and decreasing that, the values, the eyedropper, space, like the basic stuff. And then also just understanding like how to make new layers without necessarily going there and making new layers. Just like anything that can get me a shortcut, right? And the best way that I usually tell people to do this is that imagine the tools that you're using. The more often you're using them, then you should probably put a hotkey to them or start to learn their hotkeys, so that way you don't think about it, right? And you can start doing it and pressing it and just practicing that, right?
All right. Mikey said, awesome, thanks. I don't paint that enough in regards to the anatomy stuff.
Yeah.
And then somebody popped in a quick question. I'm just going to go through
Yeah,
last one.
But I nailed it on the head with Mikey, though, because that's just how it is. People like, if you have a hard time painting something, it's because you don't know what you're painting. And so just go learn what you need to paint.
Keep that in mind. Myself. All right.
Yeah. You're going to learn that in class. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll learn a lot. All right. This guy said, when you sculpt, are you going off a composite? Have you ever sculpted something and it turned out nothing like a composite sketch?
Like, did I make a sketch before this? Is that what it said?
That's what I assume.
No, I just started from scratch. But I'm a designer, so it's much easier for someone like me to do that. Right? I don't need to kind of start with a sketch or something. I thought about it, though. I think that's still a good strategy. Save time.
Okay.
But I know it's just to really save time. It's just to be good at it in the beginning.
Their follow-up was, have you ever sculpted something and it turned out nothing like your concept?
Like, again, like I don't have a concept to start with, so this is turning out exactly the way it's supposed to.
No.
And what I mean by this
have
is,
you ever?
no, never. That's what I'm saying. I never really like
Oh.
concept and then do, like, I just straight up go. And if I do concept and then I'm doing the sculpt, then I go stick with the concept. I never deviate from it. That's the whole point of concept. Because if it gets approved, then I just do it. You don't go off of it. And have I done it for myself? Like, no, never. Like, I either just go straight into ZBrush or I'll just stay in Photoshop. Right? I can make very convincing concepts in Photoshop. And I can make very convincing concepts in ZBrush. So it just depends on where I decided to start is where I'm going to finish. Like I said, I have the advantage because I'm like I'm a designer. So I don't really need to rely on like doing preconceived concepts, is what I'm saying. I can probably do it in ZBrush. The only problems that I run into is, again, tool stuff, interface stuff. But like I said earlier, I've really focused a lot of my time and effort to become really like seeing past the interface, right? So, anyway, appreciate
And
y'all.
that's it.
Hope you guys have a good Halloween weekend. And thanks, Mike, for moderating. Appreciate you too.
Yeah,
And
man.
peace out, homies. Have a great day and a great weekend. Oh, before I go, on Halloween, during the middle of the day, we're going to be streaming, and it's going to be much, much longer. So if you like the Q&A session and hanging out and stuff, it's going to be very similar, but I'm going to be doing a longer painting, a longer thing, and it's going to be much better.
11 a.m.
Yeah.
11
And then Kevin's going to do one too. And then Mike's going to be there and moderating and doing what he's doing here. And he's also running the channel because he's a student, so he's going to be working on stuff. I'm going to give him tasks and stuff to work towards and in the future. But right now we're just trying to get it going, a longer form.
Start. Just got to start.
Got to start. But peace out, friends. Laters.
Have a good night.